My Golddigger fiancée tried to seduce my brother after I lied about not inheriting our multi-million-dollar family business. So we exposed her and left her penniless. I, 28M, used to believe my fiancé genuinely loved me, not just my family's money. I come from an old-school family business, a multi-million-dollar enterprise that my father built over decades, and my brother and I grew up around it. For years, people whispered that one day I'd inherit a major share. I never considered it a big deal. I thought I'd marry for love, not for finances. 6 months ago, I got engaged to my fiancée, a striking, stylish woman who always seemed to have refined taste. She'd pick high-end restaurants, insist on weekend getaways at fancy resorts, and never minded swiping my card. I liked indulging her. In my head, that was part of being a good partner. I saw her confidence as a plus, someone who matched my lifestyle. But my older brother, just a year older than me, wasn't convinced. He dropped subtle warnings. She's too interested in the business's details. Are you sure she isn't with you just for the money? I brushed him off, accused him of paranoia, or being too protective. He shrugged. I just don't want you to get hurt. Time passed, and my fiancé's questions about the business grew oddly specific. When you inherit, how much exactly is your stake? Or, are you guaranteed to become the CEO if your father retires? Even so, I told myself she was just curious about our future stability. My brother quietly observed, offering me cautious glances whenever she pried. One evening, he pulled me aside in our family's den. We need to test her, he said bluntly. I bristled. Test her how? That's manipulative. He sighed. Look, I only suggest it because the signs are glaring. Let's see if she's with you for you or for the inheritance. I was stubborn, but he persisted. He reminded me of stories, ones we'd heard about unscrupulous people who wormed their way into wealthy families. You can call it manipulative, or you can call it self-protection, he said. If she's genuine, the test will prove it, and you can rest easy. But if she's not, better find out now. After a week of debate, I relented. We crafted a plan. I'd lie, tell her I was cut out of the family business for personal reasons, that my father had decided my brother alone would inherit, leaving me with a modest trust, but nothing near the rumored multi-millions. The point was to see her reaction, plain and simple. So one afternoon, while we lounged on my couch, I broke the news. I sighed dramatically. I need to tell you something. My father's decided my brother should inherit the lion's share of the company. I won't get much at all. Just a small portion. Barely enough to live comfortably if I decide to slack off. I feigned disappointment, glancing at her face. She froze, her brow furrowed. Wait, so you're not getting the big chunk? Her voice was tight, eyes flitting across my expression. I shook my head. No, we had a long discussion. We fought. But in the end, Dad thinks my brother's better suited to run everything. I won't have that multi-million safety net. I might just do some small consulting role, if at all. She tried to mask her disappointment with a weak smile. Oh, that's surprising. Are you okay? She gave me a half hug, but I sensed it was mechanical. My heart sank a bit. Somewhere, I'd hoped she'd be unconcerned about the money. Instead, it felt forced. 2 days later, my brother showed me a snippet of her text messages. She'd reached out to him, praising how responsible he was, how impressed she felt by his business acumen. Odd compliments, given that she barely used to speak to him. I realized my brother's suspicions might be right. My chest tightened. If she was truly a gold digger, she'd go after the real inheritor, and apparently, that was my brother. We both agreed to push the act further. My brother decided to respond to her little flirtations, see how far she'd go. Part of me felt sick, like I was betraying her trust. But another part recognized that if she was betraying me, I needed proof. If she tried something, it would confirm everything. It didn't take long for that proof to surface. The day after my fake revelation, my brother forwarded me new messages from her. They were more than just friendly. She typed, "You're so different from your younger brother. I wish we'd spent more time together before." Then a winking emoji. She even asked him if he was free for coffee. Just us two. My brother and I sat in his office. He's had a separate role in the family business for years, reading her lines with growing disbelief. "She's not even subtle," my brother murmured. "This is borderline seduction." We crafted careful replies. My brother played along, politely but not overtly encouraging. She responded eagerly, saying she found him inspiring, that she needs someone who can take care of her in the future. The sense of betrayal stabbed at me like a cold knife. She actually wrote, "Your brother doesn't have the resources I expected. I can't tie my future to that." That line sealed it. Now I had no illusions left. This woman I intended to marry was coldly pivoting toward my brother for financial gain. All my trust, my affection, she tossed it aside the moment she believed I wasn't inheriting big. Fury pulsed in my veins, but I forced myself to stay calm. My brother placed a hand on my shoulder. "I'm sorry, bro. Let's finalize the plan. We'll gather more evidence, then confront her." His suggestion was to let her escalate. We'd ensure everything was properly documented. Screenshots, perhaps audio or a recorded meeting. The final step, we'd reveal her scheme at a big family event, so she couldn't gaslight or spin the story. It felt theatrical, but I realized how cunning she was. If we confronted her privately, she might weasel out, blame me or claim misunderstanding. We needed a public, undeniable takedown. So we set a trap. My brother invited her to his condo on the pretext of discussing the family business. She texted him in a flirty manner, "I'll wear something nice for you, wink." She obviously intended to do more than talk. My brother told me we'd station a discreet audio device in the living room, capturing everything. I was to wait in an adjoining room, phone camera rolling through a crack in the door if she tried anything. We felt a bit like spies, but it was necessary to confirm her betrayal. The day arrived. My brother greeted her warmly at the condo. She wore a sleek dress, too fancy for a business meeting. They chatted politely about the company. Then she shifted, leaning closer to him on the couch. "So, you and I could make a real power couple," she purred. "Imagine what we could do if we joined forces, with all the inheritance at your fingertips." He played along, asking, "But what about my brother? Aren't you engaged?" She scoffed. "He's sweet, but let's be real. No big inheritance, no real ambition. A loser, basically." My stomach clenched hearing that. She'd called me a loser. My fists balled at my sides, but I held my position, letting her incriminate herself further. She slid closer, touching his shoulder. "I'm sure we can work out a private arrangement," she whispered. Then she leaned in. My brother gently pulled back, saying he needed a moment, excusing himself to the kitchen. That was my cue. I remained hidden in the adjacent room. Then, after an hour, she left. After she left, my brother and I exchanged a grim nod. The final step would be revealing her betrayal at the upcoming family reunion. My father's birthday gathering, where her parents would also be present. The big family reunion arrived a week later, set at our estate. Relatives poured in from everywhere. My father was celebrating a milestone, and we always threw lavish gatherings for such occasions. My fiancée, ironically, had bragged about this event to her own parents, how she was entering a wealthy family. They came too, beaming with pride at the prestigious match their daughter had made. Little did they know what was about to unfold. My brother and I kept our cool, greeting guests and mingling. She showed up wearing a designer dress I'd bought her months before. My father spoke a few words to her parents, talking about business expansions. They looked thrilled, probably imagining the fortune their daughter would soon tap into. After dinner, as we gathered in the main hall for speeches, my brother gave me a quick nod. It was time. My father began thanking everyone, acknowledging how proud he was of the family's legacy. Then, with a casual hand motion, my brother stepped forward. He glanced around, a serious expression on his face. "I have something important to share. It concerns my brother's fiancée and the truth of her intentions." All eyes turned our way. My fiancée's face went pale. I felt my heart pounding but pressed on. I'd intended to marry her, believing she loved me. Recently, we tested that assumption, pretending I wouldn't inherit the family business. Her reaction was to pivot and try seducing my brother, calling me a loser, hoping to secure access to our fortune through him. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Her parents looked stunned, their eyebrows shooting up. My fiancée shook her head wildly. "This is a lie. They tricked me. It's all a setup." My brother, calm and resolute, held up his phone. "We recorded it. Your texts, your words, you can't deny it." Her parents turned to her in shock. "Is this true? You said you loved him." She tried to salvage the situation. "I do love him. I was just confused. They coaxed me." She flailed for excuses. but she was drowning in guilt. My father asked sternly, "You called my son a loser? You asked my other son to form a power couple for the inheritance? Did you or did you not?" She faltered, tears forming. It was just a moment of weakness. I was worried about our future if he had no inheritance." The pitiful attempt to shift blame only made her look worse. Then came the final blow. My brother announced, "For clarity, my father never changed the inheritance plan. My brother remains an heir. We tested you to see if you genuinely cared for him. You failed." The hush in the hall was absolute. She tried to speak, but no words emerged. Her parents were mortified. One relative hissed, "Golddigger," under their breath. Her mother, reddening with embarrassment, spat at her. "We didn't raise you to do this. You promised this was about love, not money." She tried to hush her mother, but it was too late. Her father demanded she leave with them immediately. "We're done supporting your wedding. You disgraced us." She stared at me, tears streaming. "Please, I can explain. Don't do this. We can fix it." My chest felt heavy, but I recalled her mocking words. No sympathy remained. "You mocked me, tried seducing my brother. There's no fixing that." She tried to approach me, but I stepped back. My father cleared his throat, addressing the entire room. "This engagement is over. The family stands with my son. If you won't leave, we'll escort you out." Her parents, humiliated beyond measure, yanked her away by the arm. She whimpered as they exited, overshadowed by the harsh stares of everyone present. Within minutes, the party resumed a strained normalcy. My father apologized to the guests for the drama, and the conversation slowly shifted. Meanwhile, I stood in a corner, grappling with the emotional aftershock. My fiancée, no ex-fiancée, had proven her love was conditional, contingent on wealth. Everyone around me offered sympathy. My brother patted my back. "We did the right thing. You deserve better." I nodded, still numb. Later that night, after the guests trickled out, I retreated to my bedroom. My phone buzzed with texts from her. "I'm sorry. I panicked. Please, let's talk." Another. "My parents disowned me. I have nowhere to go. Please help me." She claimed desperation, but all I saw was the same manipulative pattern. She was sorry about being caught, not about betraying me. I ignored the messages. The next day she tried calling my brother, claiming she'd been tricked. He blocked her number. My father quietly assured me that legally, she had no claim to anything. No marriage had occurred. No prenup was signed. She left only with the clothes she wore. Her parents, disgraced, apparently cut financial ties with her too. She was, indeed, penniless. Over the following week, rumors spread about how she had tried to betray one brother for another. My phone lit up with acquaintances asking if it was true. I simply told them a condensed version. Yes, she was after money, and we caught her. Reactions ranged from shock to grim amusement. Some pointed out red flags they'd noticed about her. I realized I'd overlooked so many warning signs. The heartbreak was real, but overshadowed by relief. It could have been so much worse if we married, only to discover her betrayal deeper down the line. My brother's push to test her saved me from a disastrous union. Despite the method feeling underhanded, it was the only way to confirm her sincerity. And sincerity was non-existent. A month later, we learned her parents truly disowned her, refusing to let her stay in their home. She apparently couch-surfed with friends, jobless and isolated. Part of me felt a twinge of pity. But then I remembered how she called me a loser and attempted to worm into my brother's life. That pity evaporated fast. In the end, I reflected that money warps some people's sense of loyalty. She wasn't content with a normal lifestyle or trusting in my capabilities. She wanted guaranteed wealth, no matter which brother provided it. Her sense of entitlement led her to scheme, only to be undone by her own greed. I remain thankful for my brother's insight. We remained close, running the family business with renewed purpose. If anything, this fiasco taught me the value of caution and the power of subtle red flags. My ex, she can't blame anyone but herself for burning every bridge she had. Now my life is simpler, free of deception. If hearing about gold diggers crashing and burning puts a grin on your face, hit that subscribe button. Who knows, my next family drama might leave you even more entertained.